Okay, this is day 5 of 7, exploring how to distinguish between rationalized and reasoned thinking. Day 5, and 2 more still to go? Yes, it's that important. Because if we mistake rationalized for reasoned thinking, we're being directed by our emotions and impulses. This distorts our true motivations, our principles of personal excellence, and our highest values, which leads to persistent poor choices and a warped relationship with reality. Today, we'll look at how your explanation feels to you when you get challenged. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Self-Control from Fitness to Flourishing. Here's what you may notice. Rationalizing can feel smooth in the moment. It feels reasonable, principled even. But it also feels shaky, like you're on your back foot and looking for support from any onlookers. Reasonable thinking is different. It can be said out loud without flinching. It doesn't need a debate team. It lands simply and solidly, and you know reality has got your back. But here's the trap. Most people don't know the difference until they try to repeat their explanation. That's when rationalizing shows its weakness. It keeps requiring upkeep, more qualifiers, more context, more defending. There's a feeling test to tell them apart. Standing versus balancing. Let's define these clearly, because you'll use them all day. Wobble, required when balancing, means your explanation isn't stable. It can't just be stated once. You keep having to add layers. Your story has to be managed to stay believable. You're constantly tightening it, re-explaining it, defending it. That's wobble. Standing, when you're grounded, means your explanation is clean. You can say what happened, why it happened, and what you'll do next. Full stop. No courtroom performance. No special cases. It just holds. So here's your question for the day. Does this explanation feel like something I can stand on or something I have to balance? Answer in one line. I can stand on it. Or I have to manage it. That's the test. Simple, but it catches everything. Here's a situation that's fairly common and often triggers rationalizing. You had a workout scheduled, you committed to it, time passed, and you skipped it. Now, here's what your brain does. It doesn't just report facts. It tries to protect you from discomfort and accountability. It builds a story that makes the skip feel reasonable. That's where wobble shows up. And I want you to see it clearly. If you're rationalizing, your explanation tends to grow into a string of softening details. It sounds like this. I skipped it because I was tired, and my day ran longer than expected, and it took more out of me than usual, and honestly, skipping one time isn't that bad, and I'll probably do it tomorrow anyway, and plus, I've been so consistent lately. Notice what's happening here. You're not just explaining, you're building a case. You're reaching for exceptions. You're adding qualifiers. And that case has to be maintained because it's trying to stay believable instead of staying true. That's the maintenance. That's the wobble engine. Every time someone questions it, you have to add another layer. Every time you revisit it, you have to re-explain it. It takes upkeep. And sometimes you have to work to remember the details of the story, almost like you're making it up as you go along. That's revealing, isn't it? When you're standing, you keep it tight. You don't add layers because you don't need to. It sounds like this. I skipped my workout today. I didn't plan very well. Tomorrow, I'm scheduling it earlier so it gets done before I'm too swamped with work. Same reality, same facts, less distortion. Standing doesn't pretend you didn't choose to skip your workout. Standing doesn't deny what happened. It just stops dressing it up. Notice that difference. The wobble version is trying to convince you, and maybe others, that the skip was understandable. The standing version is just stating what happened and what comes next. Here's the rule I want you to remember. Rationalizing feels convincing, but it doesn't hold. It feels smooth when you first say it, but the moment you have to repeat it or defend it or revisit it, it starts to crack because it was never built on stability. It was built on shifting conclusions. Whatever made sense in the moment of rationalizing. Reasonable thinking holds when you are pressed. It holds when you're tired. It holds when you're questioned because it's not trying to convince anyone. It's just true. This is the process you'll use today. Step 1, write your explanation once. Take today's relevant situation, the one where you broke your commitment. Write the justification you used. One paragraph, no polishing, no making it sound better. Catch it as it actually happened. Step 2, label it. Does this explanation feel like I can stand on it, or do I have to balance it? Answer in one line, standing or balancing. Then add one more line. What part requires re-explaining? What part feels defensive, if anything? That re-explaining part is usually where the wobble lives. That's your signal that you're rationalizing. Step 3, fix it without pretending. Rewrite your explanation to be reasonable. Here's the rule. Remove distortion. Do 3 things. 1, include facts you left out. 2, remove special cases. 3, face the consequence chain. The consequence chain is simple. For example, if I didn't do the workout today, what does that mean for tomorrow and for my future if I continue that behavior? Not, why am I bad or undisciplined? Just, what happens next? See yesterday's episode for more details on the consequence chain. Step 4, use the reasonable rewrite template. Use this structure. I did or didn't, fill in the blank, because, fill in the blank. I chose to or didn't follow through on, fill in the blank. The standard I'm using next time is, fill in the blank. Here's one filled out for skipping a workout. I skipped the workout because I was tired. And instead of protecting the plan, I deprioritized my workout. My restart standard is 10 minutes, first thing in the morning. No negotiating. Notice what's missing. No rationalizing. Just reality plus a standard. That's the goal. Now lock it in with the ACT score follow-through. The ACT score follow-through means, what behavior are you committed to doing that you can do even on your worst day? Answer this in 2 parts. First, follow through today, yes or no. Second, tomorrow's standard. Make it small, doable on your worst day. Here's the complete list of journal prompts to lock in the work. 1. My explanation or justification. Fill in the blank. 2. Standing or balancing. 3. What part required re-explaining? 4. The reasonable rewrite. 1 paragraph. 5. The ACT score follow-through today, yes or no. And 6. My standard for tomorrow. Make it small and doable. Make sure you write these down. The writing is where the clarity happens. Tomorrow, we'll go over a simple question that reveals whether you're being reasonable or defending your rationalized thinking. You've heard the wisdom of keeping an open mind. Tomorrow is the pressure test that reveals whether you are open to having your mind changed and what it would take to do that. Everything we explore in these episodes is just theory until you take action. If you're ready to stop drifting and start following through, head to the link in the show notes to join the ACT Score Challenge. That's it for today. Catch you next time.